Well, how Jose Cruz was between your legs, right? In the Houston brawl, who was between your legs? And kind of hurt you for a long time. The Houston one in the
Cedeno.
yeah, Cesar Cedeno. That's right.
Yeah.
We show that a lot. It's my favorite.
Yeah, and what happened was you know, like somebody will come out and make a big haymaker, and you know, and Cesar did, and I got underneath him, and I'm thinking in my mind I'm going to pick him up and body slam him. Well, when I duck underneath him, I got him on the waist, and I'm lifting like that. Simmons jumped on him, and I kind of, with the extra weight there, you know, my head ended up between his legs, and I'm sure for a second or two I'm still trying to lift. And you know, and I remember after that fight, you know, you didn't get thrown out of games back then. So I'm still pitching, Simmons is still catching.
Which is crazy if you see the video. We've shown this video a million times before. The two batters in the batter's box against the Cubs. We see the picture. I never knew about this till the Busch Stadium was going down. Then we looked for the video. Tell me about that day. What happened? How does Bill Madlock and another Cub end up in the batter's box, and you're throwing to two batters in the right-handed batter's box?
Madlock was the first hitter. And, you know, granted, he's a great hitter and everything. So, and it's a tie ball game, and I'm not going to lose. So I knew the importance of getting him out. So I went behind the mound, came up there, and he got out of the batter's box and went back to the pine tar, you know, get pine tar at the on deck circle. I'm Jerry Crawford's dad. Shag Crawford was the home plate umpire, and he kind of went after him or something and said, you know, hey, stay in the batter's box. You know, every time you step out, you know, the clock starts. Or I think he did it on the second one because, you know, then I'm stood on the mound and I could see him kind of laughing like, oh, I made you wait. And so I went behind the mound, and then he went to the on deck circle, and that's when Shag went after him. So I don't know what he ever said to Shag, but Shag came back to home plate, signaled me to pitch. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I know when an umpire tells you to pitch and there's no batter in the batter's box and it's an automatic strike, you got a pretty good chance you're going to get him out. So I threw one pitch, and, you know, it was kind of high, but it's an automatic strike, so it's strike one. Well, Cardinal was the on-deck hitter, and Jose saw what was going on, so he jumped in the batter's box. Now, Madlock is returning to the batter's box because he sees what's going on. And then Jim Marshall said, I've got two of my best hitters against the Mad Hungarian. They don't have a chance, so I'll stand on home plate. Well, that didn't bother me. You know, you're playing catch with the catcher. You know, so it doesn't matter if there's two batters there, and it doesn't matter if...
Plus, they're hitting out of order, Al.
Well, yeah, they are, you know. So Cardinal's in the right-handed batter's box up front. He's taking a swing at the pitch. Madlock is the scheduled hitter. He's kind of in the right-hand batter's box behind Cardinal. He's trying to get out of the way of the backswing and swing at the pitch. And Jim Marshall is standing on home plate. And somebody said, you better look out. And so he's kind of backs up. He's got his feet in the air, his hands up, his toupee off his head, and the ball's like going right by his head. And somehow it started a fight.
Yeah, we've never seen anything like that.
Something like that. And I know after the fight, and it was a good one, good 20-minute brawl.
Why are they fighting you? It seemed like it was all about the umpire. I don't know why they're...
Well, no, and, you know,
But Simmons
Teddy,
yeah.
Teddy, you know,
I guess
kind
he
of
threw the
like,
first punch.
Yeah, you know, it's like as soon as the pitch, you know, he kind of stabbed at the pitch and everything, and then the next thing he did is he hit Madlock right in the jaw. And that started the fight. And then when it was all broke up and everything, I said, Teddy, you know, what did he say to you? He goes, I don't know, man. There's just too many bodies around me. But Ted Simmons was the greatest, and I always wanted to throw to him because he was going to hit a bomb, or he was going to get the game-winning hit, which he did in that game, you know. But after that, you know, after the fight, I'm pitching. All of a sudden, my fastball's got a couple feet better. You know, got Madlock out, Cardinal out, and got the next guy out, whatever it is. I think it came in the next inning or the bottom of the inning or something, and Teddy, I think, won the ball game for us. But that was one of the reasons why I'm a charter member of the Hall of Shame.
Okay, there's a shot on YouTube. You're in Atlanta, and you run out shirtless, yelling at a reporter during batting practice.
The night before, I was in a game, and I was really struggling with Atlanta, and I'm kind of mopping up a game. And it was actually against the Mets and Joe Torre and Gibson, you know, two guys that kind of taught me how to play the game. And I remember one thing they said is don't let somebody kick you when you're down. And I was down. And, you know, we came into a situation I was pitching late in the game, you know, and we were losing. And somebody got a base hit, and so Chris Zachary was the pitcher, and he scored around a bunt. And I threw one over his head and charged him, you know.
Of course.
And everything, and I'm, you know, and the umpire, you know, he comes out and both benches empty, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "These guys told me don't let somebody kick you when you're down." And I said, "I'm down, so I'm sending a message." And he kind of laughed a little bit, and he said, "Well, you think they got the message?" And I said, "Well, we'll find out." So went back, and, you know, I was very difficult to bunt against, and Zachary ended up making an out, still attempting to bunt, and got an out, and then Lee Mazzilli come up. And this was a time when I was trying to develop a fork ball, and I threw a hanging fork ball, and he hit a home run. Well, I did my mental thing, and you know, he's already hurt me as much as he can by hitting the home run, and I got to just sit there and take it. So as he's running around the bases, gets around third base, he starts screaming at me, "That'll teach you to throw at my pitcher." Well, you don't scream at me. You know, you already hit your home run. Just run around the bases and shut up. So I met him at home plate. And, you know, one of my teammates told me you know, putting anonymously in the paper that I was a disgrace to baseball, a disgrace to the Atlanta Braves, and a disgrace to the human race. But I was doing what I thought was right and everything. So Knox Nunley was this reporter. That
can't be his real name.
It was his real name. And the night before, he said, "Well, we ever notice that Mad Hungarian has a flair for theatrics? But you ever notice when he goes around and starts these fights, but he always makes sure he's, you know, protected and, you know, can't get hurt." So I'd been running 5 miles around the stadium and everything shirtless. And so I got through, and all of a sudden this guy, you know, I see this guy. And I go, "Can I talk to you?" And he told his camera, "Run the camera." Now, this guy's about a foot taller than I am and everything, and he run the camera. So I proceeded to tell him everything I thought of him, you know, and how gutless he was and blankety blank. And, you know, so I knew every cuss word I could possibly throw in there because they couldn't use it. Well, they used it, but it was bleep, 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 and you bleep, 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 and everything else for about whatever. And at one point, you know, when I'm calling some of these names and saying something like this, I'm not taking my eyes off a person, and I saw something flash to my left. And so I hit it like that. Well, that's how close they had the camera. You know, the camera guy came in and they're like this and hit him. So then I was trying to blind him and everything.